Welcome back to Project Zenki Redo. Now, the last piece under the hood of the engine, I have a hot shot header on the KA24 here, and that produces a lot of heat. The tubes actually are about 400, 380 degrees when they're releasing heat out. In order to get rid of some of the under hood heat, which affects, of course, your cold air trying to pull into the engine, your radiator, and the cooling system, etc., I'm actually going to install a heat wrap kit from Design Engineering. Now here I've got the black wrap with the black silicone spray, and the spray is actually going to protect the heat wrap from that way it doesn't get dirt and a lot of oil in it. Keeps it nice and clean. So in order to do this, I'm going to warm up the car, take it on a nice 8-mile loop around the house, get it up to operating temperature, come back, I'll measure the exhaust tubes and see what they are normally. I'll install the kit, and then we'll measure it afterwards. Let's see what kind of change we can make here in the engine room. Let's go get the car warmed up. Alright, now I've actually taken the car on the 8-mile drive. As you can hear, my cooling fans are running. So this engine's actually going to be, it's probably at 170 to 180 degrees by now. The cooling fans have been running a little bit. This engine's nice and hot, and these exhaust headers are going to be nice and hot. So let's get a benchmark before. I'm going to use a Fluke infrared thermometer just as my measuring tool before and after to see some change. So looking at the exhaust number 1, 453 degrees. Looking at number 2, and about 374 degrees. Number 3, looking about 430. And number 4, it's around 528. So you actually see there's a lot of difference in there. So they're actually burning a little different here. But actually all it's doing is it's creating all that heat and keeping it right here in the engine bay. And all it's doing is transferring right up to the radiator for the cooling, making it work harder, plus into the intake. So now let's get the car cooled down. I'm going to turn it off, let it sit for a couple hours, and then we can take the header off and start the wrapping process with the DEI thermal wrap kit. Alright, now that the car is actually cooled off, I've actually put it up on jack stands here, and I've taken the header off, as you can see here. Now, the way this should be wrapped is you need to start with the pieces that are going to be overlapped first. So this piece here, where cylinder 4 to the joint, needs to go first. These two other pieces here need to be overlapped. You should be working kind of this way from the tailpipe where it goes out to the back of the car up so that you can wrap. So this is going to be overwrapped. This will overwrap these two pieces wrapped here. So you should be working from the back to the forward. Now, according to the directions, you want to put one wrap in a bucket of water, which I have here. They come in as a nice wrap here. Here's the silicone spray, which will be used later, and then inside are the stainless steel straps to attach the wrap together all. So I'm going to start with this piece here, wrapping it, do the next piece, and I'm going to work my way down, working it up so that I can overwrap pieces. Let's check back in a minute. Alright, now as you can see, I have wrapped the pipes from the collector here, I guess you call it the manifold where it attaches the head, all the way down to the first where it goes from 4 to 2 on all the pieces. So I started down here at the bottom and wrapped it around, trying to keep between a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch on the wrap on each one. So it's the next successive wrap all the way around, trying to leave a little space here for the O2 sensor, and then of course the EGR air tube coming back from the other side from the EGR valve on the other side of the engine. So just take your time. Now DEI on their instructions for the size of tubing does give you an approximate length to cut it to, and I've actually gone on mine, taken it, and they had 8 inches for the bends, add that in. I'm adding about 6 inches extra. That way I can always cut it to a little shorter at the end, that way I'm not running short. And it's just a pain in the ass trying to continually cut stuff and have it short. So the stainless steel ties here are very easy. All you do is just wrap it around, put the end through. It's kind of like a zip tie. You pull it tight and then it locks. So those are pretty easy to put on. And then you can try to just put them on the same direction. I always try to pull them so that when you're pulling down on it, you're actually tightening the wrap itself rather than pulling against it and making it loose. So wrap it around, pull it, and when you're pulling it tight, make sure it's tightening that wrap way around. So now I've got to go from the 2 to 1 section and then the 1 to done. Okay, here you have the finished product that's completely wrapped. If you notice, the rear is completely wrapped up to the Y section where it goes 2 to 1, and then it's wrapped up to the point here. Right now I just got it laying out in the sun, that way it's drying, getting all the moisture out of the wrap, and then I can put some silicone spray on it. So I'm going to give it a couple hours to dry and then spray it with silicone. Alright. Okay, now that I've actually let it dry in the sun for a few hours after I went for some lunch, I actually used the silicone spray that comes with the kit and actually spray painted it. And it just sprays on, it gives it a nice black coating. It seems like it's a black, I guess it's just a black silicone spray really. So it goes on just like spray paint, put it on nice, give it 3 coats. Kind of get a close up here. You can see it just goes on, it absorbs right in the wrap, and once it's dry, the exhaust is time to go back on the car. So it's time to do that, and then let's get it started and seal it in. Alright, now that I got the exhaust put back in the car, let's take some before and after, or some after, we'll get you some temperature differences. So you look on at header number 1, looking at about 220 degrees. Number 2, at 270 degrees. Number 3, about 270 degrees. And number 4, we're looking at about 300 degrees. So pretty consistent all the way across. Once you start this up, now it will smoke as the directions say. But otherwise, you actually put your hand down there and you can actually touch it without getting your fingers burned off. So good product. It'll definitely help the underhood temperatures. That's all we have for this time. We'll see you next time.